about evaluation in general, not just formative evaluation, though that is what we're going to focus on. But before we do that, kind of who am I? So I'm a graduate assistant in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. Ranger Nick is my research advisor, so it's a lot of fun. It's like a wholesome meme as far as graduate school research advisors go. And I'm studying interactions between outdoor environments, informal learning, and self-regulatory behavior, specifically with youth that maybe have some rocky paths or have kind of ended up in non-optimal situations. And this is Dakota. And she is my dog, and I talk about her constantly, and all of those are from her Instagram. And so yeah, she's a big part of that. The roadmap. So this is where I'm hoping that we're going to go today. The things that we're going to talk about, of course, are what is evaluation, what is formative evaluation in that context, techniques that we can use to evaluate what our objectives are. You've already started on understanding how to develop objectives with Ranger Nick, and we've briefly now talked about the 3 landscapes that I'm going to talk about as well: knowledge, attitudes, and behavior. We're also going to talk about what data is and what we think about when we use the word data, and maybe how that's not broad enough for what our objectives are going to be. So what is evaluation? When you think about evaluation, what do you think about?
Analyzing what was done and seeing if it was done successfully or not.
Yes, that's absolutely, that is evaluation. I think there is a tendency to look at the word evaluation and think of kind of making a judgment call on someone's aptitude or ability. But evaluation can be a really, really positive thing. And we think about evaluation in terms of improving an offering that we already have, or improving our ability to kind of build better models for what we're intending to do. And both formative and summative evaluations aim to answer these questions. The big difference is when and how we respond. So we want to know what our students are learning. We also want to know what they're not learning and kind of where that falls. But responding is a really big difference. Formative evaluations take place during what's going on or before the program or activity that you're going to do. And you can respond immediately. Summative evaluations are against a standard of some kind, one that you're all going to be pretty familiar with are grades. When you take your finals and you get that grade at the end, that's a standardized score, so that's a summative evaluation. Formative evaluations, on the other hand, are kind of like temperature checks. And so like everyone who's had class with Ranger Nick in the last 30 minutes, raise your hand. Cool.
Oh, good answer.
So, yeah.
Good answer.
There are a lot of really different ways to get at formative evaluation, and kind of why we do it. So why do we evaluate? And what does that look like? Why do you care about doing it? Yeah?
You want to know what you're doing is working for us.
Good.
Yes, absolutely. So kind of as Liberty said, the kind of gauging the success of the program that you're implementing is absolutely another reason. I'm going to erase.
Sure, go ahead. Absolutely.
A Ranger Nick has on the board. So a big part, I think, of this why question is also what are you going to do with it? I don't believe in asking people to do things you're not going to use. So if you're not actually going to respond, don't ask them to do it. But I also believe in constantly improving what we're doing. And I think that everyone here would agree. So this idea that we can respond, and the reason that in education we do formative evaluations are for 2 big reasons, really. One is that you have to justify absolutely everything you do. So kind of what he's saying is answering the so what question. You need to tell people why they should care about the fact that you're replicating them. But the other reason that we do formative evaluations is to be flexible educators. So, I like the FE there. That's for those of you who had chemistry. It's for iron. So you can have ironclad Instruction. So it's kind of a way to remember that. But when we talk about evaluation, the reasons why, other thing is what we're evaluating. So you kind of hinted at part of that. We're going to talk about, Ranger Nick is recording me right now, because we're going to kind of review what I do while I'm up here, and how well I succeed in the objectives that we showed earlier. But what if so we're going to talk a lot about data collection, and summative data is very often quantitative. We're going to focus on qualitative data collection, but it's important that you know that that is not a way to distinguish between the two. You can have quantitative measures of formative evaluation. And one of those that you've heard about, we've talked about briefly, is like frequency, intensity, duration. These are kind of numbers that are associated with things. So let's say that one of the things that I said I wanted to be evaluated on was class engagement. Well, I already got everyone in the class to raise their hands. That's probably a little bit more than most class periods are going to see. But is that a valid metric? Even if we're saying that the frequency of hand raising is a metric of engagement. Why not?
Well, I don't think necessarily you have to be super engaged in what's going on to be able to just raise your hand and answer a simple question.
Mhm.
Whereas if you were to ask them to answer a series of questions that have a more complex response that they have to actually think about, that might mean that they're more engaged.
Okay. What if we change this frequency analysis to be when people raise their hands to answer a question?
That would be
Okay. What about to ask a question? Yeah, still? Okay. I think maybe that would indicate that I'm not getting something across, right? Like, because everyone has questions. What if people raise their hands and then put them down but don't actually ever say anything? The point that I'm getting at here is that even when we have numeric data, that data isn't completely separated from us as evaluators. And when we're creating objectives and when we're creating data collection tools and techniques, we need to be aware of that. And it is important to make sure that you know what it's measuring and how it intends to measure that. And be very specific. So if now I can't say the hand raising is engagement, I've padded that envelope. But we can look at it more specifically and say, are people engaging after they've raised their hands? Are they asking questions? Are they answering questions? Are they involved in this kind of conversation that you have as the evaluator between the student, yourself, and the material? And kind of creating a conversational nexus between all of those. So to go back to a different kind of evaluation that happened, the class that I was in here for last, Ranger Nick had you guys do songs and drawings and commercials. What was he evaluating?
Participation as a group.
So just like engagement? What else?
Absolutely.
understanding of the what's in it for me, like how to apply that to like teaching, how to apply that to getting that point across to an audience.
Okay.
Yeah, so the content that he had done over with you guys. Anything else?
Just our knowledge, I guess, over that overall content.
So with all of those answers, who is he evaluating?
Students and himself.
Okay,
Yeah, good
so in
job.
those answers, how is he evaluating himself?
Well, if we get up there and don't understand anything, then like we teach the wrong stuff, and he's gonna go, wait a second, I must have goofed up somewhere along the way.
Right. Absolutely. So
Yeah,
that
good
is
point.
part of this call and response that you get with formative evaluation, is that it is a real-time indication of not only how your students are doing with the material, but how you can respond to that to reinforce places where they might be struggling or to celebrate things that have gone really well. These are the things that we look at for measuring informative evaluation and then summative evaluation. But when you're creating the objectives that you're going to be measuring, you're going to be looking at these three landscapes. And so we've got knowledge, attitudes, and behavior. Boxed water. What do you think about boxed water? Is it better?
What's the point of
Yeah.
it seems like an odd form, but it might be like
Mhm.
more sustainable. Like
mean, we were just to do kind of a, with what you know or you think you can know about Black's water. How do you feel about that?
Like using a reusable water bottle will still be more beneficial. Like, I'm against plastic water bottles.
Yeah.
Box water is still gonna be box, still gonna be some type of waste. A lot of people don't recycle things, so.
Absolutely, and so that's an attitude. I've given like no instruction, no content, no context. We have attitudes that we bring to the table. I have no idea if Black's water is actually even recyclable. I know that there are a lot of liners and things that are used that would render that completely unsustainable in any way. I don't know if that's true or not, but we have opinions about it anyway, because we have prior experiences and we bring those to every new experience that we have. So we're kind of constantly making sense of the environment that's around us. And so one thing that we can measure is pre and post attitudes, or pre-attitudes and attitudes during. Like, if I then said, this absolutely is completely biodegradable and sustainable, maybe an attitude might change, versus saying that it has a liner, renders that useless. And so that's something that you can measure. Knowledge, I know that you guys have met Sanford. I love Sanford. It's the tiger salamander. We wanted to measure knowledge. We might, do true or false questions. Sanford's skin's permeable. Yeah.
Yeah. Good, good.
And then we can do behaviors. So these are actionable, observable, demonstrable things that people do or commit to doing, getting that commitment at the end. So I might say that I'll leave leaf litter alone. Yes or no? Or I'll leave logs alone. Yes or no? Those are behaviors. Why would we not say I'll leave leaf litter and logs alone? Talked about getting rid of the and objectives. We're also going to get rid of the and in the ways that we measure them. Create something that we call a double-barrel question, which just means that if both parts of it aren't met, then none of it is met, which is a problem. Because if they are leaving leaf litter but not logs, that's still better than not leaving either.
Yeah.
And so when you ask a question with and in it, you kind of limit your ability to tease out what's really happening.
Hey, Carrie, I'll use this example too. You all know how I feel about those hissing cockroaches, anyway. Nothing personal against them. I mean, they're cute and all, but I just don't really do that. There was a question on a questionnaire one time that said, all snakes and cockroaches should be killed. And I just kind of thought, well, gosh, I don't want to kill it either, but if I had, no way would I kill a snake, but maybe a cockroach if it was over there by miles or something, I'd not do that. But there's that word and, so that the importance of that word and not being in there is so critical. And you all will start seeing that when you take a questionnaire or you look at an objective or goal, you see that word and, immediately you've got problems. Wait a minute, what's going on? This is a problem. Yeah. Good.
So what does form of evaluation look like? If it doesn't really look like a grade, if it doesn't really have a standard, what are we doing? How do we know what's going on? And how do we implement it in a way that doesn't feel like it's a test or doesn't feel like you're going to be graded on how well you did when you came to this program? And a lot of times people are going to come to programs, not the ones that y'all are creating, but in other situations, because they need continuing education credits or because they're getting extra credit to be there or something like that rather than some kind of intrinsic interest. So how do we keep that going? We make them fun. Why would you not want it to feel like it's a test? I mean, it's evaluation. People have to know that you need to know what's going on, so why does it matter that it's fun?
Because a lot of people get like stress or anxiety during tests, and then they might mess up or not show you what they really know.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Anything else?
I'll say this, Carrie, too. I think that, I'll ask y'all, when you go to the zoo or a nature center or aquarium, are you there to learn or are you there to have fun? Usually it's there to have fun, recreate. I don't want to do any school stuff. So, and when the kids go to the zoo, they're on a field trip. They don't really want to learn. They're there to take a break. So you got to sneak in the learning. You got to make it secret, the way you do this. But you're getting data. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you don't want it to take a long time. I know, like, if I have 4 pages put in front of me of a questionnaire, By the time I get to page 4, I'm just circling stuff. Like, no one wants to do that at the end of a long day, or a day where they've been walking around some kind of exhibit, or it's hot. You don't want it to take that long. You don't want it to feel like a big ask. And you don't want it to be threatening. You don't want it to feel like they are being tested or they have to do really well, because it's not really, I mean, it is about what they're learning, but it's also very much about ways that the educator or the evaluator can improve based on what you get. So you don't want it to feel like a test, because if anyone's really being tested, it's us, right? And the novel is just, we need to think about data more creatively. We're used to scales, rate this 1 to 10, we're used to true false, we're used to these kinds of things, but there are a lot of really, really great ways to get data. You guys have done songs, you guys have done drawings, you've done commercials, but you can do a tweet. Social media is increasingly ubiquitous, as are smartphones. You can have them tweet out something that they understand from the program that you've done. Look at, like, create a hashtag for a series of activities and see what comes out of that. You can use that as data.
That's cool.
Have them create an Instagram page for a certain cause. See what they've learned about that cause in the development of that page. In addition to just seeing what they put out there qualitatively, you can also look at what they write. How do they caption it? What do they find important? What kinds of hashtags do they use and create? And how can you maybe use those in the future? This is an evaluation that I have used. So this was a drawing activity. The Amphibian Foundation has a week-long critter camp where they aim to kind of increase how people respond to positively herpetofauna. So amphibians and snakes and turtles and all these things that aren't characteristically considered cute or conservation worthy. Particularly here in Georgia, I don't know if you guys know, but we have the flatwood salamander, which is critically endangered. They do a lot of work to protect them. And so what we did, these kids are like 8 to 12. There were actually a couple in this group that were much younger. It was the first time that they were putting it on. So first day of the week, we had them draw a snake. And then Friday, which was Snake Day, the last day of camp, we had them draw another snake. And we were able to look at these and we can see what colors did they add, did they change anything, did they label anything, did they include any other animals that they had learned about. How big was it? Did they indicate that it was scary in any way? Did they include habitat information? There's a lot that you can really get out of this without ever sitting down and talking to anyone or making them do anything other than color in a picture. Pretty fun for an 8-year-old. This is from another formative evaluation that I did. I worked with Athens Land Trust on a biodiversity program for their young conservation stewards, which is a summer-long event where they go out and they remove invasive species from conservation easements and private land all across Athens-Clarke County. And so what we did is we had kind of a couple of things that built up on this, situational questions. We were having a conversation. We went out and we planted seed bombs, which are constructed soil and native seeds that we went and put in these grass restoration sites. And then at the end of it, I asked them to make a public service announcement. And that was it. It could be a flyer, it could be a commercial, it could be a one-pager in a magazine, it could be a blog post, whatever it was that they thought would best reach their peer group. Because it's not my peer group. And because when I was thinking about PSAs, I think about things like Dare commercials and Truth commercials. And the way that I consume media now, I never see commercials. So how effective can that be? So this kind of does this dual duty of not only giving us information about what they learned from the program, but how they would sell it to their friends. So then we know how maybe we can reach more people and get them in the program. This is a photo that I took. So being able to give people cameras, disposable cameras maybe, or from their cell phone, have them take their own pictures of areas that they find important or useful or that represent content areas. Just like set them out, take pictures of things, and then come back and we'll talk about them. These are all tiny little plots of wiregrass that is being restored. Wiregrass doesn't take well if you just kind of plant the seeds in a big field. So they've had to kind of been cultivated so that they can then be planted underneath longleaf pine. It is the native grass of the longleaf pine ecosystems. And so that's what that is. That is at a Nature Conservancy site, and that is 500 for each row. Tiny little things of wiregrass.
You know, Carrie, not to interrupt you, but when we talk about ownership, imagine getting kids or adults with their iPhones or smartphones taking pictures of stuff and then sharing what they took a picture of and why. It can tell us a lot about why they took that picture. It tells us about how they feel about something.
Mm-hmm.
You can envision me out in the woods if somebody said, go take a picture of something that you're passionate about. I'd go try to find a turtle or I'd find some animal and take a picture of it. Somebody would say, well, why did you do that? Why didn't you take a picture of the creek or the soil or a leaf?
Yeah.
Well, I like animals, and yeah. So that could get a conversation going. Pictures are a wonderful source of data. They really are. And imagine that. That's data. It's not a questionnaire. It's not a test. Pictures are data. That's just a really cool idea right there. That's great.
Yeah. So it's fun. And so we've
Yeah.
already loaded up some of these links. These are some more examples
Gotcha.
that I'm fond of. This one's my favorite.
I used to be an axolotl. I did what axolotls do. I breathed through gills, my skin was mottled. I know you won't believe it's true. But then one day I found a bottle
Goo.
with salamander goo. I drank a little, then a lottle. I necked the whole ungodly brew. Now I'm a
Nice. I hadn't seen this, but that's good.
At first I loved my change of species, embraced my metamorphic fate. I breathed through lungs, I walked the earth, I took a salamandiate. But nowadays I'm melancholic, I miss my neotenic state. I rue the day I drank that bottle, I can't go back now, it's too late. Now
That's a tiger salamander too. Yes.
There's something like making, what is it called,
An axolotl.
Yeah.
axolotl salamanders?
Yeah, so it's about this evolutionary adaptation where, some of them became salamanders. There are still axolotls. But yeah, absolutely. After a program, somebody comes up with that, you can see not only just this conceptual idea of what happened, and their creative take on it, that salamanders do, but also maybe just vocabulary, that they're correctly using phrases like metamorphic and neotenic, and things like that. So there's a lot really to be gained by looking at lyrics when they come up with, when you have people writing songs or coming up with them. Here is one more example of a song.
I like this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be stuck in my head all day.
Listen, mind, so, have a diversified species of Christian. The salamanders were too cool, so they had to flee. It got too cold in Canada, so they needed to get some heat. Then the ice age ended, so the salamanders elevated. No going back down, down, so those groups are getting separated. All up in those mountain ranges, making changes, evolving those Appalachians. All these new species from evolution and migration, changing over eons, made by the diversity. Salamander capital, so when somebody comes to me, asking why are the Smokies such a diverse spot? There's a lot of salamanders in this plot. Smoky Mountains, forests full of critters and they thrive. Habitats full of critters and they thrive. This mountainous country's got so many good spaces. It's dark and damp in a lot of places. Smoky Mountains, forests full of critters and they thrive. Habitats full of critters and they thrive. Listen, mom, simple, have a diversified species of Christian.
I guess that did kind of make sense.
There's a bunch of other songs on there too, Carrie.
Yeah,
I'll have to send the link out to you. There's one that all the salamanders instead of all the
single ladies.
you know, oh yeah, instead of all the single ladies, all the salamanders. That's the one that gets stuck in my head. Great example though, right there.
Right, so I mean, knowing that salamanders live in damp, dark places, that due to geologic time and ecological changes, they're forced to adaptively radiate, which is that kind of that evolution response. So there's a lot of content there. And then, so if it's not a song, there are a couple of other things that you can do. This one is actually not environmentally related. I couldn't find one with good audio quality
Hi, I'm Derek.
on YouTube, but one thing that I like about this is that it's a skit, so in addition to content, you get behavior modeling.
Yeah, look, there's a new girl. I should go talk to her. Okay, bye. Bye. Hello, hey, I'm Dean. It's so hard to find things like that. Sure. Next day. Hey, nothing? Sorry, I'm hanging out with you. Saturday? I got it. Wednesday after class. Hey, so we got to take practice for the history project, so I'm sorry. But we're always partners together. It's been our tradition. Guess our tradition is broken.
Jeez.
Shut up, Lou. What's your problem? I said shut up. Louder later. Hey, Greta. Ow. Hey, why are you going outside? Did I want to run away from your shit? Shut up. That's no. Hey, my hair, you just put out your lip. That's not. Yeah, what are you doing? Later. Hey, you want to yeah. Okay, I'll be right back. You're so stupid. You're so stupid, you idiot. You're a moron. I hate you. What's taking you so long? Vicky. What are you doing? I'm trying to die. Why? Because the other been messing with me for 2 weeks straight. Taylor Cook comes to my home. There. Hello. Stop talking. Okay. Did you read the morning Vicky? Is it? Yes, I told her. No, if I ever do the morning again, I'll be detention for a week. Yes. Guess what? What? I reported Taylor. Really?
Okay, not a perfect approximation. But clearly, written by the kids and intended to talk about their understanding of the consequences of this kind of behavior on other people, kind of above and beyond even the consequences on the individual people, becoming an understanding. And so doing skits also, I think, is really interesting because it shows that kind of behavior in action, even as a practice, which is part of this kind of psychological mimicry. So once you've done something, it appeals to norms because you see that that thing is feasible. behavior as an objective. Having people write and do out skits if doing the behavior itself isn't necessarily feasible, weather, location, whatever the reason might be. It's a really great way to show them that you can do it by having them create that themselves. Is it 10:20?
Yes, yeah, you got it, Carrie, that's right.
Cool. So, last thing really is, these are the same objectives that I showed you at the beginning. I'm a big fan of having objectives for class periods and curriculum as a whole. But what's wrong with these?
Some of the wording, I guess, that you use.
Yeah, absolutely. Are any of these measurable?
Y'all see it down there with Mr. Yuck? See, these are gonna jump out at you now. You're gonna see them. Problem.
I'm going to measure what you value. Unique forms of
You see it all the
given
time.
what we've done in this class.
Yeah.
Take one of them and just make it better. Make it an objective that we could measure feasibly with the 5 minutes we have left.
Yeah. How would we do that?
You could say like whole intensive evaluation techniques instead of feasible.
What's that now?
You could say like a whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can spend a lot of
Yeah.
Or demonstrate.
Yes, which you're doing right now, so that's great. They demonstrate how to develop an objective.
You're not gonna be the objective, write an objective.
Yeah, you say
You're
just write
not-
objectives,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you
that's
could.
it,
Look at that, yeah.
period. And then the evaluation is
How
the
well it was
direct
done.
measurement, you're doing it now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that didn't take very long. Well, we have masters at creating objectives. So, if you were me, how would you evaluate those objectives that we've just discussed? How would you evaluate the objective of, say, describing what formative evaluation is?
How would we do that?
You can ask us to like some of the things that you were showing us earlier, like write a tweet about formative evaluation.
Yes.
Very good.
Even asking the question you just asked would be a form of evaluating.
You got me.
Yeah. That's right.
So this is a course about evaluation. So by having you come up with evaluation techniques, I'm measuring whether or not I've taught you what evaluation is. And so that is sneaky, not sneaky enough. But that's it. Thank you guys for having me, and for letting me talk to you, and hopefully by the end of it, we will all be able to tell people
I like
why
this
they
snack
should care.
thing. Let's give us some snacks, yeah, that's good. Good for the critters. Hey, I'll say this one more thing, gang, too. You know the D in salad? Don't forget to return to it. When you do something like an evaluation at the end, very, very quickly, it enables you to bring that back in. That's really, really cool. Wednesday, top secret evaluation. Bring your white sheet. We're going to enjoy the presentation, and we're going to be critically evaluated. So I'll see you Wednesday. Bring a friend with you, okay? Let's do it. I'm going to take one sheet. Thank you. I'm going to take one of your yellow sheets from your table, please. Even though we didn't get to the end, it's okay. Just take one. Yeah, just, that's okay. That, you wrote an objective for your goal. That's all you need to do. That's right. Yeah, that's good, John. I'm gonna take it. You got all your names on the fire sheet? Okay. I got one. I appreciate that. You got it for everybody. See you Wednesday for some birds. Let's have some fun with this. Thanks, guys.
Y'all are absolutely right.
Have a good one. See you Wednesday. All right. Get a couple more here for us. See you Wednesday.
Sir.
See you Wednesday. Take care, thanks. We'll see ya. They'll send this stuff. It's good, man. Now we're getting into teaching now. That's good. good, thanks. That's great, this is great. Excellent, thank y'all.
You gotta ask Caroline.
Thanks, we'll see you
I think she'll
soon
be up here
here.
in March.
That's great, thank you, thank you, thank you. Tina, we'll see you on Wednesday, bird time. This will be good. You'll love this, Chloe, this
I'm
stuff.
excited. I love it. We're trying to get new like birds of prey and stuff for the zoo because right now we just have one screech owl for our program animals.
Outstreet
So-
stuff, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we're looking to get new birds and stuff, and I'm helping to train our black vulture
Oh,
and
okay.
our red-tailed hawk and stuff. Oh, it's so
Okay,
I love
good,
birds.
good. All right, see ya. Thanks so much, really appreciate it. It's good stuff, you're getting this stuff, huh? And we're seeing the vagueness in these. I'm noticing in your other classes how often you see vague terms. Oh, we see them often. We'll see you on Wednesday, Joy, thanks. Hey, nice job, Carrie, that was great. That was great stuff. I love that, bringing it back up at the end. Oh, man.